Good evening. You're listening live to the Xtreme Movie Show. I am your host, Rob, broadcasting to you from the Pinehurst Palace, just west of Orlando, Florida. RDV from the Great Midwest is joining me here in the Xtreme Studios tonight to cover our continuing coverage of Fallout, Season 2, Episode 4, The Demon in the Snow. And if you're an 80s guy like me, growing up in the 80s, RDV, you're the 90s guy, Demon in the Snow, it's a horrific thing, and damn it, some people did this, and they paid a very heavy price for it. We would call that lacing, a.k.a. baby powder, because you do not, whatever you do, lace the cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get a little bit cheap. But yeah, Fallout. Boy, we've had some pretty mid descriptions about the show, and I just have to tell you, I am just not emotionally invested at all right now. I'm not at a level of hatred, but here's the point. When you get somebody like me that's kind of on the fence, trending downwards, even though I'm not giving it shit for not really being consistent with the game, not being emotionally invested in these characters, it's hard for me to go, even though Walter Goggins has been great, I feel like they're having to rely on him a little too much. You've got Kyle, which you haven't seen at all.
Right.
You got Ella Purnell playing the chick who's kind of funny in this episode a little bit with the situation that happens to her, and it just reminded me of something I've talked about for a few times now. That I'll say this episode might have been a little bit better with some of the stuff they did, only because when they focus on the video game and they take out all the current term ideology bullshit, the way it's written and all that too, when they make it just as a video game type of thing, it's fun and it looks good, and you forget about all the other nonsense.
I agree with you. We go away from what's going on in the vault politics. I don't give a shit about that. No. That's the biggest problem with this whole entire show is they keep going back to Vault 32 and 33. No one gives a crap about that. You know the characters I care about more on this show? We have Howard Cooper, we have Lucy, we also have Kyle MacLachlan's character, Henry, and then we also have Norm. I like the fact what Norm's doing. He freed people from the pods. He's knocked over Bob, and now they're on the surface, and then now he's got a threat in this episode where one of the guys says, "Oh, it's Bob's personal assistant. I got him all up, so I know." And they can tell this guy doesn't. He's testing Norm, because he's all excited about Phase 2, and Norm doesn't seem like he knows very much about anything because he doesn't. He doesn't know about Phase 2. He grew up in the vault. Only his dad, Henry, is the only one who knew anything about the plans, and so the vault people now learned that what Norm did, and now they're like, oh shit, so that vault's empty. Another big thing that's going on in the vault is that, well, they're running out of water because their water circulator or filtration tank is broken, damaged. One of the blonde chick, the one that has the eye patch, we find out, through
Fork in the eye girl.
Fork in the eye, yeah. The girl who got forked in the first season. Forky, we'll call her.
Forky.
We find out that she's a red. She's from Canada. And she's dual citizenship. She's a commie. Yeah. And she's also, because she wants something personal from the box that Henry had. Of course, that's what we find out what it is. It's her driver license and all that stuff. But the more important thing, though, is that we finally get what I've been wanting since the end of Season 1. And that is the Death Claw. We get to see it twice in this episode. Once the beginning, when it starts off with the Alaskan War, basically, and we have the Reds, and we get this hot-looking Chinese girl in there in the beginning. It's just about to take out Cooper, who he's in his mech suit because he was back in the war, and his suit gets taken out, and he's watching, and he's in the destruction of this helicopter, basically crash and fire. He sees the Death Claw moon around the background. He's freaking out because he's like, he has no idea what it is, but he sees this, and he's like, oh shit, and he's laying there, and they're smiling. They're like, okie dokie, and like shoot up. And the next thing you know, the Death Claw just starts ripping people apart. Now, I want to point out that the Death Claw is pretty much the same CG graphics you're going to get from, I want to say Slop. I mean, that's too cruel. I did like the design of this. It felt like what I was getting with Superman and Lois when they had introduced Doomsday. The only problem I have is, and a lot of people will hate about the CGI, is that they're only showing when it's dark out because
they do that intentionally, yeah, and it's horrible. It's a cop out.
Yeah, well, it's not as bad as Godzilla's foot.
Well, they intentionally did it in Godzilla. They do it in a lot of the Marvel stuff, I think, as well. Yeah. Not that I really watch any of those films. You would know more about than I do, but it's an excuse. And all we hear is, we put so much thought and effort and money in our budget into the CGI to give the viewer lack shadow, you lack depth, you lack anything else with it. It's kind of a joke here. It looks like a hand puppet zoomed in, like Godzuki or something.
Honestly, I thought it looked really realistic enough. Because here's my thing. nothing CGI is never going to look real. You know,
Correct.
Yeah, it's just because you can't. It's fake. They can paint it and do what they want, but it does work for superhero movies. I do like that, but I agree with you. I do like the original old school props, you know, like back in the sound stages. I like with Underworld, you know, and stuff. That had some CGI, but they also had people wearing like, you know, kind of prosthetics. So honestly, I thought like that for what they did with the CGI, it worked well for the Death Claw because when they do show it come to his face, I don't know if that's CGI. They might have been actual someone wearing a prosthetic, you know. But this giant beast has horns and it has a tail and it has like 3 fingers and stuff, and it looks like a dragon. For those who are wondering what the Death Claw is, and you've never played the games, the Death Claw was actually designed by the government before the nukes fell. They're going to use that to go against the Reds. And turns out when the bombs drop, they all get freed, and pretty much they are basically going around and become the apex predator.
You know what the Death Claw reminds me of, sir?
Yeah. What's that?
1984, the second Conan movie. some of the scenes that look terrifying, other ones that looked absolutely horrible. I said they had to have ripped this off. You know?
Well, I mean,
they get the Virgin with Wilt Chamberlain, and they get the horn. Yeah,
everything gets inspired by something else. So everything's pretty much a ripoff. If you think about it, you know, like, you know, the Hulk is based off of Jekyll and Hyde and stuff like that. You know, so everything has its own like, you know, inspiration. You know, and it's just like either you like it or you don't like it. You know, I mean, I do love original ideas, but we're bringing back to the story. So that was the beginning. So with Norm's now on the surface, and he's trying to lead his people. He has no idea what phase 2 is, but he's kind of like just playing as it goes. He has a moment with one of the girls who basically says, like, it's only been a week ago I saw this bridge and now it's destroyed, you know. But the other story going on is a Luzzi, because after they basically she was rescued from the fake Romans. They don't even know the people want to be Pontius Pilate's, whatever. Macaulay Culkin's army, we'll call that the Culkins. That would have been better, the McCulkins. Basically she was on drugs for 2 days to help, you know, rejuvenate her, and she now those make this really good value like this episode is that I've always said I don't like when they resetted the characters back to being, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't know, that was Lucy. I'm like, season 1 she was killing people.
They make her like episode lady, like just in the warm-ups when we're going through the system, kind of showing, hey, agility skills and all that kind of stuff, making you feel like you're part of the generation of a Fallout character. That was great. We haven't gotten that sense.
Well, we haven't got the BAPS yet, you know, or what it's called, where they basically stop slow motion and then you shoot.
I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, but
like movie Transporter.
But basically, she was given to drugs. She was nursed back by the California Republic. What's left of them? They claim there's more. They want to see 2 people. And as they're walking, she starts scratching her, and she's like in her neck, and it's like she's like, and he says, "Well, that's the drugs. You're addicted to it." And he's like, you have 2 options. You can go cold turkey for 5 days, or you can just do the latter, which I prefer. Just do more drugs. And that's what gives her the pills. And so they got all these rifles that get much as they carried from what's called California Republic, and it was kind of crazy because it just felt kind of like a video game, kind of like, here, you want free guns, or you just kill these bad guys? Sure, we have so many. Like, okay, I don't have to pay for these. Cool.
So the thing with that scene there with the lady giving it to her, the way it kind of made it seem like was because it's the NCR, the New California Republic. I wonder if the writers are kind of almost, we can say anti-American, we could say this, that, or whatever. They're really flirting with their messaging here. But my impression from the game, and I'm sure we've got some purists that would know better than I, the NCR is kind of like those individualists that would like go out west and settle it, you know, your people, your prospectors, your people that want to go seek their own fortune in the Great West, right, with the unknowns of what's going on. Not just Indians and cowboys and bullshit like that, but you know, they're individuals. They know how to survive. And I think they saw in her, because she's looking for somebody, the way she answered it, because it was about her father she's looking for. And, well, is he a bad man? And, well, you know, that was kind of like, okay, we're going to trust her to do that. So I think that's going to come into play later a lot more.
But so then we get to, they finally arrive to Vegas. And we get these Elvis impersonators who basically become ghouls and zombies. And she basically, she's like, okay, can we just move? I don't want to basically, she's like, well, she's trying to be kind. She's trying to get through. She's like, excuse me, can we just get through? I don't want to do it. And then one comes there, she's like, well, screw it. She takes out a shotgun, and she's never fired one before, and she's only fired a rifle. Shotgun takes out the guy's leg, the zombie's leg, and she's like, she's happy because she's like, oh, cool. And like she's got the bloodlust. I love it.
The release, yeah, exactly.
Yes, finally, all the anger she's had pent up, and she starts shooting. It's like, and she turns and she shoots the other one behind Cooper, and she smiles like, it's like what? They're just ghouls.
And right now he's not turned on; he's scared.
A little bit, a little of both. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
He's you know, if a ghoul can turn on, we know. But yeah, it's so they pretty much are. She's taking out all the Elvises one by one. As they're walking,
yeah, it's a bunch of Elvises too. Let's not lose sight of that fact that Elvis.
Yes, yes.
Elvis see, this is what I mean by when it's like the game and you can have a little fun with it. It's great. It's enjoyable. You can kind of relax and just watch it and go ha 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 ha. Watch that leg fall off. Ha ha ha. ha. Wait, where are they going to shoot Frank Sinatra?
I love the dog though. The dog's reaction. Dog's like, oh no, and just kind of like the dog's like, okay, calming down a little bit. I'm like, what's wrong, boy? She's just shooting a bunch of Elvis impersonators that are zombies now. Honestly, this scene reminded me of goes back to Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder one, 2004 or something like that, where they're playing like celebrity, you know, basically like gas basically, hey, the guy's a sniper rifle, and they're aiming. He's like, go for Jay Leno. Okay, boom, hits them, and they're gambling.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Then that's what makes the show much more fun. It's like I don't care about the politics. I don't care about real much the Voltic much. I just want them exploring stuff, and I love the fact they brought in the Deathclaw finally.
Yes.
I guess the guy who's in front of the show, he said like he didn't want to bring it in early because he would ruin like the season, like the first episode of was it the last season?
He would just be afraid that we care more about him than all the other shitty characters that we.
Well, he didn't want to just become another character, like, you know. And I'm just like, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? The Deathclaw is probably the most horrific and awesome thing in the game, because if you're not prepared for it, he can fuck you up. And even if you're in a power suit, you're still shitting your pants because, like, man, these things are dust. And then you get two of them. Sometimes it's like you just think there's one. No, there's a pair, and you're like, oh, and you're running because you can run out of ammo, or you don't have enough firepower or health packs. So I love the reaction though at the end here. And she's like, what? She's like, let's walk around Vegas here, and you know, it's still all lit up. You got these rusty cars and stuff. They've been sitting there for like 200 years, which I'm surprised they haven't really just, like, you know, disintegrated, being in the air. Yeah, so the lights are still going on, Sarah, because obviously there's some kind of sort of nuclear fission that's going on that's keeping the city going and power. And they're outside a fort, you know, was barricaded. And as they're going, and all of a sudden they stop because they hear a growling. And of course, Cooper, after 200 years, somehow his memory is still great, and he remembers what that noise is. And he paused, and you see this door. There's something moving inside the building, and he stands there, and he's like, about to shit a brick, because the last time he knows what it is, that thing breathed right in his face and spared his life. It was like the coming face to face with the Hulk, and the Hulk just goes next to you and says, "You're not worth it," and leaves. She has no idea, and then you see this claw come out the door, pulls it open, and then you see her look on her face, and that's what I used for the thumbnail. Is that and I just cropped it in there. You see her expression. Pure fear. And I said, like, this actress, when they allow her, she's just the most, but probably the best character on the show. Her facial expressions.
Let me say this about her. I've said this a little bit before, and the more I watch it, the more I'm really convinced this is probably look. We love Walter Goggins. Kyle's always great, but I really love her in this role because she does carry that naivete. She's got a sense of prettiness, but that body. If you look at the suit, she's got something there. She's not a skinny mini. She's not, she's not thick.
No, she's got
dog or anything. But she reminds me of. I'm trying to think of that animated movie that a lot of people liked from a couple of years ago that was rated R with the big eyes or whatever. That everybody said, "Oh yeah, that's really good." Well, I think we might have been reviewed here on the Xtreme Movie Show because she's just got those huge eyes and she has a very expressionable type face where she reminds me of like the human form of what anime is supposed to be, where they over exaggerate natural human things like the eyes and the where you get most of your expressions from your eyebrows and the corner of your mouth and all that too. So you're right. I think she's great, and I think that's the best thing about it, because when you see her walk around in the suit, that's Fallout. When you see Walter Goggins, you go, okay, it's a Western guy, looks like a ghoul. You may or may not know it, but with her, you go, that makes sense. It reminds you constantly that she's a part of it.
And not only that, it reminds you it's Fallout because after she shoots all the zombies, she goes like the thumbs up. I want more. I said I want the Baps being into this. I want to have more of the Pip Boy. Her using that stuff. I know that we saw that her father was using it in the previous episodes. But I would love to see her using it more too, and maybe she can use that to track his location.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say is that this whole thing with Maximus and Brotherhood of Steel.
That was the other thing.
I can't stand him. I can't stand the arc. The problem I have with that is they were supposed to be represented as the militant gang, which means, of course, from the government. And so whether you think they're good or they're evil or they're independent, they're even worse than the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone group from last time in terms of how absolutely fucking stupid they
exactly it is.
And to him doing what he did, then trying to save the kids, it's not working. But him basically having a boss that's like an angry 10-year-old boy. I mean, it's really stupid and insulting to watch.
So Moisés, at the end of the last episode, he killed Xander. Who's from the representative of the Commonwealth, which is also kind of funny because that was the bad guys in the Walking Dead series towards the end.
Okay.
So he killed that, and then in order to keep the guy and spare the kids, the ghouls from being because he doesn't care the ghouls. He still thinks of his kids, and he doesn't want to see any innocent life spread, blood spread.
Yeah, but the guy that he saved, that's like trying. That's
okay. So the guy he saved.
This is cringy. This
was stupid, and would have been great if they would acknowledge it because, well, I guess they do because the guys he says here, go in my power suit. I'll go in here and then they won't shoot you and they'll leave. They spare the kids. They'll so they leave. He's pretending to be I'm Xander, and he's just having a panic attack and he's this idiot. Everyone else is like kind of looking at him, he's kind of acting weird. He wants to take your visor off. He doesn't want to. And then,
how are you going to eat in the cafeteria with your power suit on? So stupid.
The other character that's in there, the one that's been there since the beginning, and her with him, Dane, played by Zela Mendez Jones. Her character, and I'll say her because she is a woman. I don't care. I don't play pronoun games. I'll just say this. So basically, her character knew right away. Hey, what did you do? Because that's not Xander in there. I know right away what Xander is. He's totally different. And he says, well, he was going to kill a bunch of people, and so I killed him. And he's like, well, what are you going to do now? He's like, I got a plan. He's like, what? I'm going to go kill Gries or whatever his name is, and kill the guy, and the main elder. And so he goes in there and he walks in there, and the guy says, okay, leave. He tells his advisors to leave. Then he's like, what did you do? He already knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I liked about him. Because if he would have not known, that would have pissed me off. But he already knew. And so he's like, what? You're going to kill me now because you killed Xander? He's like, you little shit. I said, you spared these ghoul kids, I should have killed you after you killed your previous, knight that was in that suit. And he's going to pull a gun on him. But then he panics like a little bitch. Locks out the room, locks it with a chain, and at this point, the other generals, they basically started, they had set a squabble and they started killing each other. And it was just like, so he flees with the kids, and I guess they let the kids there, but in a separate room, told them to wait till the gunfire stops, But you see this whole entire battalion just exploding, falling out of the sky and stuff. It's like the hell carriers from Avengers. And it was just like, okay. Well, here's the only good thing come for this: the real Brotherhood of Steel comes in, the competent one, the Commonwealth, the one that's actually got. I want them to be the big bad guys, and these are just like the idiots, Like that's the only redeem it is by actually having the Commonwealth to be like, hey, now we're gonna just, we want the fusion core, and because he stole it, he walked away with it. And I don't know where he plans on going, but he's just trying to, maybe he's going to go back to help the kids or whatever. But yeah, that was dumb. I didn't really care for that side story. He said Moisés or Moses, whatever his name is. I think it's, it's Maximus. Sorry.
Maximus.
Yeah.
Salthead.
Moisés is Norm's real name. As I got confused. But Maximus, yeah, Maximus is pretty much is at this point. Even the first season, I didn't care for him. I thought he was so boring.
100%.
And just felt like he was a little boy trying to be a knight, and it was just like, I don't want to watch this. This is stupid.
Yeah, that's the disappointing thing with this season. It's they just feel like they can just write whatever lines, and we're going to automatically want to watch them and like them and all that too. And that's just not how it works. So if you're not emotionally invested, it doesn't carry you through.
The first season for me felt like I was getting the new Star Wars Kathleen Kennedy Trinity, or trilogy, whatever. I was getting Ray Fisher as Maximus, and it was just like, it was so cringe, so boring, and spoiled little kid, whoever, and just like the point where I'm like, I didn't want that. I wanted a competent knight, actually, someone who actually knew what he was doing and actually be proved. Like, I would have loved, like, he's like
a moral code, like a knight.
If he imagine if you would have had someone like Xander, or even like someone who was actually like a good knight. Now he's really good at his job. He's the best. Everybody loves him. But he actually betrays his clan because he realizes that he has feelings for this girl. That would have been a totally different story.
Yeah.
A little cliche, but it would have been much better what we got. Instead, we're supposed to believe that somehow she has feelings for him. Well, the only way that works in that society is that she's an idiot and she doesn't know better. So once she realizes that there's someone out there
I'm thinking about celibacy.
Yeah,
the code. Otherwise, I must forsake my.
It has nothing to do with. You can have
a paladin.
It has nothing to do with Maximus being black. I don't care if he's white. It's a character is written poorly,
100%.
And just like Ray Fisher's character was written poorly in Star Wars. But overall, like I said, this the best parts is when we have basically Luzzi. Luzzi is the best part of this. Also, Norm with his group. I'm curious to see what's going to go with that, because they're scavenging around. They haven't come across any threats yet, and with Fallout, you can only walk so far before you're in a battle, or some kind of animal or mutated insect comes in and tries to attack you. We had the flying roaches in the first one. I think it was the first season, or was it the first episode?
I hate to say it because I'm a more is more kind of guy, but this show would have been better if less is more. I mean, honestly, less characters or just less people you're trying to introduce. You don't introduce 10 people all at once and expect to remember all their names. I think it's disingenuous on your part. I think it's you just trying to flex and pop yourself and say, hey, I'm a writer. I can do this, rather than going,
you can do that. Walking Dead did it. You just got to have a better written story with the characters that are more memorable.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens here in episode 5 coming up next week here too. I have not checked yet to see if it's been renewed for a third season, because I know everybody was pissed off Lord of the Rings season 1, and I heard people said season 2 really wasn't good, but a lot of people didn't watch it, so I don't even know there's a season 3 of that, despite how much money they paid.
We don't know. The show I'm waiting for right now is Henry Cavill's Warhammer series.
Yep.
Yes, he's in charge of that, and I think it'll be good. Now, I think we'll get more than one season. I don't know.
It's a shame, because as good as they do Reacher, Amazon.
Yeah,
that's like the anomaly, that this thing that sticks out, that they do well, as opposed to all this other stuff that they ruin. But yeah. So we'll see what happens next week. Any other final thoughts?
Final thoughts is that if you did not watch this episode, or maybe you just kind of like dipped out because you're like, I really don't feel like going back in there. I would just watch highlight reels or clips or whatever you want to. Or if you do watch it through Amazon, just fast forward and look at the parts with Luzzi and like. And like I said, if you disagree with us,
Luzzi edit and just the only scenes she's in.
Right. Can we just get the Luzzi Walter Goggins edit clip, and that's it. And then I don't even care what's going on, because you could cut out the whole entire vault thing that's going on with them down there, and it did not affect the plot going on in this episode.
Correct.
So you literally could cut it out. So leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Did you disagree with us? Do you actually agree with us, or maybe you're not watching it? And let us know why you're not watching it. We always like taking the comments and replying back to them as best we can. So do that right now, and we'll see you later. And,
Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, movie to be determined. No,
we have Landman.
We have Landman, which is finishing up. Great TV show there. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Good night now.
Later, guys and gals and dogs and cats.